Alright, so we're looking for the correct crypt. And there are 3 defiled crypts in this area. Each of these 3 crypts has one of 3 events. One crypt will be the right one that you're looking for, and contain the Guardian of the Crown. One crypt will always contain a resplendent chest at the end, and be treated as a standard dungeon. And still yet one more crypt will have a random event in it. So far, in the beta, possibly it might just be that way in release, there are only 2 events that can spawn in the crypts. One is an event called the Jar of Souls, where you have to kind of fend off a whole bunch of monsters. And the other is the Matriarch's Bones, where you have to fight a champion monster and some minions while gathering items. Each offers decent experience. I recommend... honestly, I recommend going to the wrong locations often in this game. Especially the way item drops work. You want to be... again, leaving like no stone unturned. And the beautiful thing about doing random quests like those is that you will be given gold, you will be given experience, and at times you will be given items, typically including magical items. Alright, so I picked up a light crossbow. I'm going to probably hold on to that. As you can see, that's a pretty good amount of damage as well. 9.4. It has a slower attack speed, but you'll notice it has a much higher minimum damage. That's actually pretty good. And this comes into making your builds. What I'm using right now is a weapon that I consider high risk, high reward. I have a chance of only doing 3 damage, but I also have a chance of doing 11 damage. If I were to use this light crossbow, I would be doing 8 or 9. That's it. But that's a good spread. You think about it, 8 or 9. It's a difference of 1 instead of a difference of 8. If you're looking for consistent damage rather than random damage, you might want to look more into, say, crossbows. And this is something that'll carry across from different classes. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. This is only for 3. You know, I'm going to go ahead and start dropping these because that's only 2 and that's only 2. So I'm going to start dropping those. I'm just going to start looking at items to compare now to equipment I've already got. They're not worth picking up. So that is my advice to you new players. Look at the lights, but you don't have to keep them. Keep ones that maybe sell for a bit more. Like that one's 4, so you can find a 4 pickup. The gold you find from monsters is the gold that really is really what's going to give you the most. See, like right there, I really didn't use my spenders until just now because I knew I could keep my distance, and Hungering Arrow works as such that I didn't actually have to click on the monster to actively hit it. The right skill for the right job is really what it is. Alright, now here we have a leather hood. I know that's going to be better. Ooh, 5 gold for pants. And it's a decent pair of pants. Solomon Grundy want pants too. Alright. Environments will not kill you.
There isn't a crown here.
Or hurt you.
Best try another crypt.
No, that's interesting. Apparently I have been made a liar. The resplendent chest is probably not a guaranteed item then, because I don't recall running into the resplendent chest in here. As you can see, it's very small. This is obviously the wrong location, and I didn't run across the resplendent chest. So there is some risk to that. Doesn't look like you're always going to get one, but in the last patch, it was fairly common. They may have either removed it, or it may not just be a guaranteed chance. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use this return stone. But I got some decent items out of that. And there was an elite pack, or... I'm sorry, I keep using elite. I really should use Blizzard's nomenclature. There was a rare pack of monsters in there, which granted me items, experience, and gold. So it was still worth going, even though I didn't find a resplendent chest. I know I am a lot more chatty than usual, but again, this is kind of... This final countdown series is going to be just, like I said, it's kind of slightly different from my normal because I want to make sure that I get as much information out there. And this time around, when I'm done here, I'm definitely going to want any feedback that anyone can give for anything that they think. If you're new, go ahead and offer it. If you're a veteran, go ahead and offer it. You know, things that you think someone that's new might need to know. Maybe even things that someone that's a veteran might want to know. Because I can only guess so much. There's only so many things I can think of off the top of my head as I play. Oh, they just keep coming, don't they? I kind of like that green glow and the... Yeah. Hello. Masterwork. Masterwork white items are pretty nice. They usually have an additional bonus, like the... Here you can see it's +1 maximum damage. Ow. Oh dear. He dodged. Whoa, he went ethereal on me. Okay, I've never run across that before. Where they go ethereal. I've always killed them too fast, I guess. Is he bugged? Alright. There's a lot of rubber banding here, as you can see. That apparently is an issue that they've tried to fix, and they've made some progress on it. I've never actually seen it before. This is the first time I've been rubber banded that much with knockback. And that's pretty much what's doing it, is his knockback. He's apparently bugged. I cannot hit him at all. He is not coming back to... I think what happened is he dodged and went intangible on me. And I don't think that's intended. I think the intangible dodge is intended, I just don't think that it was meant to last like this. So I'm going to have to progress while kind of avoiding him, as it were. He's obviously not triggering my traps. Okay, so they're working on this rubber banding issue. Latest forum post says that they have found the root cause and they should fix it. Problem is we're really not probably going to get a beta patch that will fix it, so we will have to expect to see that at retail release. Alright, now good news is I was able to break off his pursuit, even though I can't touch him. That's something I'm going to want to report for sure, because I think that could be very lethal if more than one of them manage to do that. And I know hardcore characters are not going to want to deal with an enemy they cannot kill. The joys of playing a ranged class. I can just sit up here and shoot down at enemies. Alright, I've gained smoke screen as my new ability. This one's pretty cool. I tried it out a little before, wasn't terribly impressed. It was neat, very useful for moving into different situations, but they have buffed it, and it is awesome. Let's go ahead and slot it. We're going to get rid of caltrops for now for smokescreen. Alright, smokescreen costs 14 discipline. Vanish behind a wall of smoke, becoming momentarily invisible for 2 seconds. Here's the thing. It's been buffed and nerfed simultaneously if you just read that. Previously, it was 20-something discipline. It was so much discipline to use smokescreen that if you used smokescreen, you could not use another ability like caltrops or vault. You would basically have to wait a couple seconds before your discipline recharged. Now, with it being at 14, I can use it, and then I could quickly use something else. Again, let's just say caltrops, vault, or the like. So that's very nice. That's a buff in the fact that I can now use more than one ability, or discipline ability. I don't have to just sit there and wait. Now, what you're not seeing is another buff that happened to this. Smokescreen, even though this is the advanced tooltip, it really should say it. Hopefully they'll patch it in for retail. But on the patch notes, it is there on the official Blizzard patch notes. What smokescreen does now is it will break crowd control effects. So if you are immobilized by, say, a jailer mob, which will put you in place, it'll just hold you in place, you won't be able to move. If you're frozen, if you're slowed in any way, you use smokescreen and you'll break it. Not only that, but while in smokescreen, you are immune to any kind of crowd control effect. This is why they've nerfed it down to 2 seconds. It used to be 3. 2 seconds may not seem like a lot, but honestly, for breaking crowd control effects and getting out of them, 2 seconds can be a great deal, especially in the hands of a high-level player. Another thing that they've done to smokescreen is that when you use it, it increases your movement speed by 10%. Again, it is not listed here in the tooltip, but it is on the official forum, or in the official patch notes. Now, unfortunately, I got rid of caltrops, so I can't slow down Manglemaw, but I can stun him with Impale. If I didn't have Impale, he would have gotten up to me and would have hurt me. So those are the kind of things you have to consider when changing out skills. What are you going to lose? I'm losing my ability to slow monsters now. Now granted, I now have smokescreen, which makes me invisible to monsters temporarily, so I can maneuver around. In fact, let's go ahead and try and demonstrate a little bit of that. Go to smokescreen, move past these guys, and just try and hit them. Of course, I failed, and I hit the minions instead of them. And of course, it's cheap enough I can use it again. That's the other benefit. I can smokescreen twice now. So even though it lasts 1 second less, I can use it twice for the same resource cost that it used to be, and actually get an additional second out of it. I mean, you have to think about it. What would you rather have? Would you rather have 3 seconds of being invisible and, well, before it didn't have crowd control breaking effects, but let's say it did. Would you rather have 3 seconds and it take up all your resources, or would you rather have 2 seconds and it only take up half your resources?
No, I will not allow you to bring that monster Leoric back to this world.
And as you can see, he loses me as a target when I use it, so I can actually use this to my advantage. There we go. Grab the crown. I now have Town Portal. Town Portal has changed from Diablo 2, no longer being a scroll, much like Scrolls of Identify have gone. In case you're wondering, you can still identify items, you just have to right-click on them, and it only happens for rare items now, not blues. I have a better weapon. Okay, I have explored all the crypts. Or no, I haven't. I still have Jar of Souls or whichever else to do. Okay. But just to kind of show it off, you can either click right here in Town Portal, or you can hit the T key as a hotkey. You cast for a couple seconds, you're back in town. Now, unlike the old Town Portal, teammates cannot see the Town Portal that you put down. Only you can see your Town Portal. So it prevents you from sending people back and forth. To compensate for that, though, when you are playing a multiplayer game, there will be banners around here. Kind of like that. In case you're wondering, that's the G key to put down your banner. It doesn't do anything other than look cool. It's really there just to show off, to be honest. But you'll see banners around this waypoint here, and you just click on a teammate's banner and you'll be teleported to them instantly. It's a nice system.
Got a right good bunch of things for you this fine day.
Okay, that's a 7. This is a 9.4. These are both 9.4. Both 8 to 9. Exactly the same, except for that one has experience, so I'll get rid of that. And that's a 10.4. That's only 1 experience, so I don't need it. I will get rid of that. Alright, don't need that. More armor on boots. Alright, 10.4. Hold on to that. Alright. So there we go. I've got a whole bunch of items. And some of these I may want to wear. Let's go ahead and grab the rest. And now we're going to pretty much go into the... We're going to go into the crafting thing. And what I'll do is I will go and we'll do whatever event I have. And I'll probably end it there because I've been doing a lot of talking, so therefore this segment is going long. I know it has. So the last one went much longer than I thought it did. So, but hopefully it's been entertaining throughout. It's really kind of hard to fill a half-hour, 45-minute segment with something interesting to talk about and keep me not only from repeating myself, but from, you know, being droll about it. Hopefully I've hit the right mix. You know, moving on. We've got magic belt, magic dagger. What do we have here? That's experience that I don't need. 7.7 with experience that I don't need. Alright, let's go ahead and put the weapons separately so I know they can get rid of those instantly. Kind of a lot of moving around here, so I know this will be very interesting to watch at first. But if you're interested in crafting, you might want to just kind of hang out for a moment while I go through this. So here we go. I lose armor, but I gain magic find. I'm going to take that because right now magic find is important. They're very low values right now, but honestly, any chance I can get to find a blue to help me craft is really what I'm looking for. Okay, I don't need that. Pants would give me, there we go, magic find, and it's only a little bit less armor, so I'll wear that. What is this? Extra gold and monsters take damage. And this is extra gold. That's pretty nice too, honestly, extra gold. Because as you can see, I don't have a lot. And again, monsters are my primary source of gold. So what I might do is go ahead and forego the magic find for some gold find here. It's a little more armor. Let me take that. And that's movement speed. That's not bad. Maximum movement speed that you can have, since I'm looking at this one's a plus 4%. Maximum movement speed increase you can have is 25%. Blizzard has stated there is a cap on that. In case you were wondering. And if you weren't, well, you know anyway. Oh, here we go. I've got one that increases pickup radius. I really don't care about pickup radius. So I will do this one that gives me 3 experience. And there we have it.
You found the crown. Ah.
Alright.
I
I can't do anything until he finishes.
There.
But when he finishes, I will gain access to him as an artisan.
I need something more than we are allies.
There it is. Now, going forward, if you play any other characters, the artisan is unlocked for them as well. He will be standing here ready for you to use him, even though you haven't done the quest when you start a new character. You will still do his quest, but he himself will move down the road. So right now I can talk to him and hit craft and get the crafting menu. But when he's not here, or in this case, if I talk to him and he's hitting that crown, while he's doing that, I can click here and get the crafting menu. So, alright, here we go. This is the crafting menu, and as you can see here, we're starting at level 1 Apprentice, and you can train him to learn new items. It costs you only gold to train at the beginning. Later on, it's going to take some other resources, such as what's called pages of blacksmithing, in which you will have to find these pages to level him up further. Right now, we can forge 3 weapons and 2 pieces of armor. As you can see, we've got an axe, crossbow, and a wand, and down here we've got boots and chest armor. So, level requirements are vary. Here, as you can see, this is a 4, this one's a 4, this one's a 6. I'll be going over those a bit more as I actually start crafting. Here's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. This is the salvage menu. You just click on the anvil, and then click on the item you want to break down. When you click on the item, it will tell you over here what it gave you. It will also say it down here in the chat menu, of course. And you can just keep clicking. Now they've increased, there it is, Fallen Tooth. That is what you get for disenchanting rare items. I got it now from a blue because there is a chance to get rare items from blues. There's a very rare chance to get legendary crafting materials, but that has been moved to Inferno only. For those of you curious, only legendary legendary crafting materials only happen in Inferno mode now. It used to be in normal, nightmare, and hell. There were legendary crafting materials, and supposedly there might have been legendary items you could have made at those levels. Now apparently that's no longer the case. There are still low-level legendaries, but those low-level legendaries only disenchant into the rare materials. It will give you multiple of them, so you might get 2 Fallen Tooths instead of 1, for example. But you'll have to think long and hard before you disenchant a legendary. Do you sell it? Do you disenchant it? And in this patch, they increased the chance to get rare materials again. They decreased it last patch and increased it this patch. So it's probably equal to or maybe a little less than it was before. Okay, there we go. I've gotten rid of everything. I now have 22 of these subtle essences, and I have 3 fallen teeth, which is kind of nice. So what can I make? An axe? Well, I don't use axes. Don't use wands. So I can make this crossbow. And as you can see, it's a 9.4, does 8 to 9. Much like, here we have, this one's actually a 9 to 10. So 8 to 9. This is probably like a masterwork. That's kind of odd. 1.0, same attack speed, 8 to 9 compared to 9 to 10. So apparently this has a random damage spread on it. So what you can be guaranteed here is you'll always be given this 8 to 9 damage and the 1.1 attacks per second. Other than that, you can get 2 random magical properties. So I'll go ahead and I'll make one. Oh wow, they really increased the cost of these. Look at this. 8 subtle essences for this wand, 9 for this crossbow, 8 for this axe. That has gone up dramatically. These used to only be like 6. It went up last patch, it's gone up again. Okay, what about armor? Armor's far less, 5 and 4. So it looks like they want you to spend more on weapons. So weapons are going to be the most expensive. So as you can see here, it tells you here's how many you have, here's how many you need. So I have 22, I need 9 to make it. And then I just have to hit the craft button. It'll cost me 709 gold to make one. There's the progress bar. Boom. Each hit adds 2 to my life, and I get plus 3 experience from monster kills. I kind of like that, actually. It's an 8 to 9 spread. It's slightly less damage per second, but it's only 2 less maximum damage, to be honest, which is fine with me. I don't need it to... I don't care about the plus 2 to maximum. What I care about is losing that low minimum threshold right now. The way I want to play right now, I want to have a decent spread of damage across them both. So I will be holding on to this bow for an experiment later. I will get rid of this item because the difference here is not that much. 9 to 10, 8 to 9. I can deal with that, especially since this is going to give me experience. So let's go ahead and put that on. pretty cool looking. And let's see about armor. We've got some Apprentice boots and a leather doublet, so let's just go ahead and make one of each. This is going to cost me 4 and 363 gold. 5 and 379. Here we go. My boots give me dexterity and magic find. Hell, well, there you go. This gives me regenerate life and monsters take damage. That's honestly not that great. I would probably rather just salvage that again, which you can. It cost me 5 to make, so I'm not going to get much out of this. I mean, it's not like I can just keep recycling items. But I made it. I can just go ahead and disenchant it. But hey, look, I got lucky and actually got a fallen tooth out of it. So maybe that's a strategy you want to employ if you have a lot of subtle essences and you want rare items. Make some items and then get rid of them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put on my boots. And I will salvage out these. Alright, and then real quick what I'll do is I'll show the training. He's at level 1. He's an artisan. He's at artisan experience. Notice no materials. He will learn leather cuffs and hide breeches. Real expensive to train him, 2,000 gold. Now you'll notice his level did not go up. His level will only go up after you train him about 5 times. So about 10,000 gold to train him to level 2. But notice the items have changed, heater shield and hide gloves. That means by training him I did get those new items. They were both in armor. As you can see here, there's the star, shows you these are new. These, of course, are much higher level items, level 9 required for these, and this one's level 8. I have enough essences. I'm going to go ahead and make these cuffs. And there it is, 16. I get some vitality and extra gold from monsters. I lose the experience, though. I will probably hold on to the experience for end-game play, because that's going to be important. When I get to level 13, I'm going to be splicing the video, if you haven't seen how I do that before. So, alright, let's put that on for now. Save that. Okay, so that's how it works. If I had the money, I could train him again. He would learn these new items. And when he hits a new level, he learns a lot of new items. So like a handful, it goes up from Apprentice to whatever the next level is, and those items will cost more. So as you can see, just by this, we went from level 4 to level 6, and from armors here to level 9. Every level that you give him is going to count. He will... Getting up to level 4, Blacksmith, is basically the end of normal mode. To get to level 5, you need to start using these pages of blacksmithing, and those only drop in Nightmare. Actually, I want to hold on to this. Okay, that can go in there, and that can go over. Nope, don't need that anymore. That's right. Okay, I'm going to put my materials away. We're going to very quickly do the last event, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this segment. To those of you who have stuck around for a while and already know a lot of this, I'll apologize because I know that this is old hat to you guys, but at the same time, I'm really trying to answer all the questions people might have, really. Not just veterans, but newbies alike, for the release. There's been so many questions out there, and it honestly, it surprises me how many questions that I've seen answered over and over and over again that people keep asking. So I'm trying to hope to get a lot of those taken care of. So you saw there, I used my ability to kind of go invisible to my advantage to keep them from attacking me and to get my distance. They lose your aggro. If they can't see you, they just stop. And honestly, that can be just as good as slowing them down with caltrops. Now, as you can see, because of this crossbow, I am attacking slower. But I'm hitting a little bit harder. What's important about, I'll go in this while I'm fighting here, What's important about using weapons that have high damage but a low attack speeds is for skills kind of like Impale here. Impale takes a lot of my resources. I can only use it about 4 times. And if I'm using weapons with a high attack speed, low damage, I could technically be doing more damage per second. So for example, I could spend all my resources on Impale and be doing the most damage by using them quickly. But I could only do it 4 times and then I'm out. That's not very good for long fights. A skill like Impale is really good for having a high damage weapon, because then every time I use it, it's going to hit hard as well as give the stun. Rapid Fire. It fires quickly to begin with. That's a skill that will benefit both from slow, hard-hitting weapons and fast, weaker weapons. Honestly, a skill like Rapid Fire, because Rapid Fire is so efficient, and that's the thing, Rapid Fire has a ton of efficiency, because of what we talked about last time, you're only spending 10 resources for the ability. This is the Matriarch's Bones event. This is one of the events I was talking about. Talk to her, I have to use these urns, and fight her husband. Uh-oh. Another monster wants to join the fray. So Rapid Fire, as I was saying, benefits more from your DPS than it does from your damage. That's something you might have to take into consideration when you choose your skills. Do you want to use a hard-hitting weapon, or do you want to use a high DPS weapon? Maybe it doesn't matter what you want to use, maybe it matters what you find on the field. Because what you find on the field is really, to be honest, is probably going to be what dictates what you use the most. Because you can find sometimes a one-handed weapon that does more damage than a two-handed weapon you might be using, which you would think shouldn't be the case, but it really depends on what you roll. But some skills like Rapid Fire that are high efficient, used for long periods of time, will definitely benefit more from the damage you can do over time, therefore damage per second. Whereas some abilities like Impale, which hit hard and only can be used so often, will benefit more from a high damage weapon in general. Now, that being said, I'm gonna use another example here. Let's say the Wave of Light ability for the monk. It's been changed. I'm going to talk about the old version of it. Wave of Light for the monk cost 100 spirit, and you could only use it once because you only had 150 spirit as a maximum pool. So this means no matter how much I wanted to, I could only use Wave of Light once, and then I'd have to regain my resources. Well, you would think there, okay, Wave of Light would benefit the most from a hard-hitting weapon. And while this is mostly true, there's another thing you have to consider, and that is your resource generation. Monks, like the Demon Hunter, get their resources back from attacking. I'm attacking slower now. Obviously. But because I'm attacking slower, I am regaining my hatred slower. So that's something you will have to consider as you move forward in your builds, in your gear. Because if you attack slower, you gain less resources, you won't be able to use your spenders as often. So even though I could use that Wave of Light once, and if I was using a weaker weapon, it wouldn't hit that hard, I could easily use the ability again quickly by dual wielding. And I'll be going into dual wielding and all of that and resource generation a bit more later on if I can find a second one-handed crossbow. Might have to buy one or something like that. We'll see. Honestly, I'm still holding this 3.0, which is not going to be great to show it off. But I'll go into that. It's kind of hard to talk about it without being able to show you guys, because I know I can sit here babble all day, and unless you see it, you might not really get it. Okay, so again, I'm going to ask you guys, let me know if there's anything you can think of that I should be letting people know, new and old alike. Anything that you could suggest as far as pacing. Maybe I'm putting too much out at once. I know I'm doing a lot more talking, so it might be more droll. Maybe tone it down a bit. Let me know. Honestly, because I want to try and make this content the best that it can be. for all of you guys. So this is going to be the end of this segment. This is part 2. I'll move on to part 3. Honestly, with how slow I'm going because of everything I'm covering, this might end up being a 6-part segment. We'll see. But I do plan to go all the way to level 13 like I did before, and I do plan on moving quickly. I've got a few days off coming up here. I will be doing the Barbarian next because he's been unveiled. If you check out part 1, I've already added YouTube overlays for the next classes I'll be covering. I fully expect the order of unlocks on the main site to be based on the hints they've given there. We've got Demon Hunter and Barbarian. After that, I'm expecting Monk, so we'll be able to get back to that, which is great because the Monk has a new rune. Witch Doctor, and then Wizard. Monk, Witch Doctor, Wizard all have new runes for their very first rune, and I'm honestly looking forward to doing them. The Barbarian doesn't really seem to have any changes, but I haven't done a Barbarian since patch 14. I'm looking forward to trying him out again as well, especially with the larger monster packs. I did not have to fight the super large monster packs with the Barbarian before. That's going to be fun. Okay. This is Kagekaze's domain. This is patch 16 and the Demon Hunter. Again, leave your suggestions, feedbacks. Please feel free to either do it here or at the shadowpost@gmail.com. Thumb up if you like the content. I will see you guys again in the next segment.